Shalom, my dear friends. Since we're unable to come together in person for the time being, your Temple Emmanuel clergy, staff, and lay leadership are committed to doing all that we can to try and stay in touch and to provide you with content that will help us to get through this difficult time. And one of the thoughts we have is that we're going to overlay each week with a theme that reflects the Torah portion of the week. So here's the first try. The Torah portion for this week is Vayikra, and it begins the book of Vayikra, or Leviticus. And for many people, this is a difficult book of Torah. It's all about sacrifice and disease and cleanliness. And most of the mitzvot, or the commandments in Vayikra, reflect ritual, legal, and moral practices that for most of us have little bearing on the world in which we live. And yet, as we know, the world today is pretty topsy-turvy right now. In our cloistered reality, focus has shifted away from large picture concerns to the tasks of daily living, disinfecting our environment, preparing food, shopping, staying healthy, ensuring that our loved ones are safe and secure. And all of these are key components of Vayikra. The focus on priestly purity and cleanliness means a lot more now than it did just a few weeks ago. Suddenly, this esoteric book of Torah seems a lot more prescient every single day. Now, a key concept of Vayikra is that of korbanot, or sacrifices. And as modern Reformed Jews, the idea of sacrifice seems foreign. And yet think about all the sacrifices that we are making, have made, and will have to make in the future. We are all aware of the dangers inherent in isolating ourselves. We can lose touch with our better selves and our community if we don't constantly reinforce the values and the priorities that help us to rise above our animal instincts. Vayikra is a book that tells us to limit ourselves, to make room for one another, and to strive to maintain systematic and ritual consistency. These are values that we can all take to heart at this time of radical change, of fear and isolation. Now, one Hebrew word for sacrifice is korban, and its root karov also means to draw near. Our tradition understands sacrifice as a way of drawing nearer to God by sharing the best that we have to offer. Currently, we are all sacrificing a great deal as we confront the untested waters of this global pandemic. But we are also experiencing powerful moments of drawing near to one another and to everyone around the globe as we confront this crisis together. So this week, as we attempt to adapt to our new normal, I'd like us to think about the sacrifices we are making for the sake of one another, for our family and friends, for our own personal safety and our well-being. But in addition to sacrificing, let's also strive to find ways to draw near to one another, to our values, and to our God. This past weekend, we shared so much together this Shabbat, even in our isolation, from Shabbat services and Torah study to stories and activities for young children to a live concert by Jewish rock icon Rick Reck. Now, not without glitches, we've learned and are continuing to learn just how powerful the technology of live streaming and the internet can be to help us all stay connected. We at Temple Emmanuel, your clergy, your professional team, your lay leadership, we are all committed to helping one another, and we will continue to post opportunities for learning, for sharing, for worship and fellowship. And at this time of sacrifice, we are also finding beauty in the way that we refuse to allow our self-imposed segregation to become isolation. Now, as many of you know, each year before the High Holy Days, I send out questions that help us to prepare for the cheshbon hanefesh, the self-evaluation, the introspection that is integral to the month of Elul. Now is also a good time for us to be focusing on key questions of our lives. So with this in mind, I once again want to pose a few questions for all of us to ponder, one for each day of the week. Number one, what sacrifices have I made since this pandemic has manifested itself? 2, Are there new rituals that I can create during this radical reshaping of my daily life that will help me to stay mentally and physically healthy? Number 3, have I done all that I can to ensure that I'm protecting myself, my loved ones, and my community by changing my habits around hygiene and sanitization? Number 4, in my concerns about ensuring my own health and safety as well as that of my loved ones, have I been selfish in hoarding essential items that others need as well? Number 5, with the radical changes in lifestyle that we are experiencing, have I also done all that I can to help others, to reach out of myself, to find way to give, to volunteer, to do the things that safely I can do to make this world a better place? Number 6, how can I draw near to other members of my community during this time of social distancing? And number 7, how can I be there for family and friends and neighbors who may be sacrificing even more than I? Now again, these are just a few examples of the kind of questions that we can and should be asking ourselves. I'm not sure I'm going to do this every week. This is an experiment. But I do promise that all of us at Temple will keep sending you content that will be relative and relevant and central to our mission as a Kehila Kedosha, a sacred community. I welcome your feedback and responses. Feel free to post them here on Facebook below here, or email me directly at black@emmanueldenver.org. You can also reach out to the rest of our clergy, our educational, our leadership team, whose email addresses are readily available on our website, or if you need one, just send me an email and I'll send it to you. I also want you to stay tuned to our Facebook page for more moments of teaching, of sharing, and of holiness. For now, I bid you shalom ulehitraot, shalom, and we will see each other very soon. Take care.